Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. We got so much to cover, so stick around. Don't leave in the middle. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot going on here, folks. Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. We've got in the house, El Señor, starting it out, AVQ from Brooklyn, New York. El Señor Michael Rudden, Patrick Magna from Houston, Texas, that is, as well as scrolling down. J. Ray with a roar is in the house, as well as scrolling down. God, my God, Eric Hayes from Kingwood, Atascocita, Paul Fleming from Powder Springs, Georgia. We have E2247 from all over, making sure that we cover things appropriately. Yvette Avery Herod from Atlanta, Georgia. You said there is an echo. Is it still an echo? Echo? Please let me know if you're still hearing an echo, because we shouldn't be hearing an echo. So let me see if I can find out what could possibly be causing an echo, unless we have a remap. Bear with me, guys. I'm looking, I'm searching, testing. Please let me know if the echo is still there. I am going to fix that immediately if I can. Well, I should say if I can. I should say that I must. Okay, maybe it's gone now. Is that correct? Is that echo gone? Is the echo gone? Let me know if the echo is gone. I think that's what it was. I think I had two mics on. Great. All right. Sorry about that. We had two different microphones for emergencies. Thank you. All right, folks. Anyway, so continuing. Carl Cox from Riverdale, Georgia is in the house. We also have in the house is Steigen, Bergen Creek, AVQ. Paul Fleming, I got you guys already. And let's see. All right. Para ver. I took a shower today. No one made a profit, and the economy is still running. It's weird. Lee Grant from Montgomery County is in. Marge KJ is in the house. Reverend Carlton, Do You Lie is in the house. The number is 281-823-7747. Do you lie? Reverend Carlton, welcome aboard. Let me scroll up. Remember, I lose the first few dozen calls. Few dozen people that are checked in. Michael Burt, Maureen Greer, welcome aboard. I like to say yo to everybody. Just kind of welcome folks in. If I missed you, just drop me a line, Emily Hansen, and I will be sure to call you out. Anyway, remember what Donald Trump said yesterday about Mr. Khan, and that is Sadiq Khan. Well, Sadiq Khan responded to the president, and he was so accurate in his response. So here is about a minute and 31 second, well, probably less than that, response from Sadiq Khan. Here we go. The mayor of London, the Muslim mayor of London, hit right back at Donald Trump for his commentary about the city. And, he's using the same kind of commentary on the mayor of London that he's using for the new mayor, the mayor that will be the new mayor of New York, who will likely also be Muslim. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
I think people are wondering what it is about this Muslim mayor who leads a liberal, multicultural, progressive, successful city that means I appear to be living rent-free inside Donald Trump's head. I think President Trump has shown he is racist, he is sexist, he is misogynistic, and he's Islamophobic.
I am very glad that in no uncertain terms, London's mayor went ahead and called the president out for the xenophobic, homophobic, misogynist, sexist, racist that he is. I think it's important for us to call what it is out. All of our country's problems from polarization. Yes, it's important to call all of that out. Michael, I'll get to your post in a little bit. I need to get a few more things under wraps first before we go there. Anyway, folks, let's see. Reverend Carlton says the hell that all other member countries are going so is far healthier, happier, and more heavenly than the one person. All right, let's go ahead. And we have somebody calling it. How can I help you? Go ahead.
Am I live?
Good.
Hey.
Yes, you're live.
This is what I'm going to talk. I got the notice about the topics, and what really interests me is black farmers. And there's a lot of black farmers in south central Louisiana that grow sugarcane. Now, sugarcane is not one of those crops that are going to be demised or face all the tariffs and everything. They make money off tariffs, but that's the black farmers. But those other black farmers, they're going to get, the white farmers are going to get subsidized with these tariffs. And what they're going to do is take all these black farmer farms away and sell it to corporations, the corporate farmers, like they've been doing the last 30, 50, 60, 100 years. And it really aggravates me. So I can't wait till you reach that topic. I just had to call into that because I know some farmers back in Louisiana, and like I said, they're not going to be affected. They vote on the right. But those other farmers back in Oklahoma and those areas, they are going to steal their farms because they can't get loans. They're not going to get the subsidies. They're just going to take this. This administration is making the United States freaking minus 100. It's so shameful to talk to my friends in Norway. So shameful.
Yeah, we are going to. Yes, they're all laughing at us, and yes, we are going to get into the farmer stuff in a little bit. Let me. Thank you, my brother. Have a good one. Let me get to some of Rudnin's stuff because then I'll go into the videos. Rudnin says, Center of American Progress, the Trump administration cancels food security report, masking harms of historic SNAP cuts. The food security supplement to the current population survey has been around for roughly 30 years, but the U.S. Department of Agriculture last weekend announced the survey would no longer be funded because the reports became over-politicized. Nope, they're politicizing it because they don't want to tell the truth. While 2024 data will still be included in the upcoming October 22 report for the USDA, the series will end there. The cancellation comes just a few months after congressional Republicans and the Trump administration enacted the largest cuts in supplemental nutrition assistance program in history, gutting a program that serves 1 in 8 people in the United States, including 1 in 5 children, by nearly 20%. The timing is no coincidence. So as research has repeatedly shown that SNAP participation helps reduce instances of food insecurity by as much as 30%, Trump and the Republicans have a pathological hatred for the poor, which is true. But we need to stop using terms like food insecurity and all of that. We need to start letting people understand what's going on. America is starving its population. A lot of the people who need to, when we speak about food insecurity, the people who are insecure don't know that we are protecting them, don't know that we are defending them. So we go out and we go on TV and say the Republicans are working against food insecurity. What we then get is the poor people that need to vote for those people who are protecting them don't know those people are protecting them. We are starving our population. The Republican Party is starving children. The Republican Party is starving people. Let's stop this bunk about food insecurity. It is driving me crazy. Anybody agrees? Please tell me if you agree with me at all. If you don't, I get it. But I think a lot of the people that are food insecure, in effect, are starving. And we need to let them know that the Democratic Party is working for the starving. It's working for people that are poor. Let's stop using these high-minded languages that people don't understand. We give them word salads that they don't understand. Forgive me. Thank you for that, Lauren Calancy, Jerry Stout, Rev Carlton. Yeah, let's call it what it is. They're starving people. All right, another one from Brother Rudnin. Lending Tree, buy now, pay player, BNPL tracker, 41% of users late in the past year, more using loans to buy groceries, and that is unrecoverable. More users buy groceries with BNPL, 25% of BNPL users say they have to use the loans to buy groceries. That's up from 14% just a year ago amid rising prices at the supermarket. 1/3 of Gen Z BNPL users report having done so, making it the 4th most common BNPL purchase for that group. That's buy now, pay later. BNPL, buy now, pay later. Look, folks, it is serious, and calling it food insecurity not gonna solve it. These people are starving. You have your folks in these apartment complexes and homes having to go ahead and buy their foods that way. Okay, let's continue. The Guardian, Oklahoma officials say all high schools will have turning point chapters after Charlie Kirk's killing. Conservative youth group chapters will counter woke indoctrination, says Rand Walters. When asked by a local reporter what would happen in schools that said it wouldn't have a chapter, Walters said he would go after the school's accreditation. Oklahoma ranks 49 in the nation education. If you think that is bad, I'll come with another one. Oklahoma. Oh, you got the Bibles one. Okay. I'm not going to read the Bible one because I have a piece to show you guys on the Bible one. And since that's the case, I will just play that piece right now, Rudnin. Good minds think alike, Rudnin. Good minds think alike. I'm proud of you, Mr. Rudnin. Let's go ahead and bring that up. It's a TikTok, and I did a piece on it for KPFT, although I wasn't able to get to it, but I want to show you guys that because that's a very important thing, and you guys are going to pass out because it looks like I'm going to be, according to Oklahoma, I am going to be 3/5 of a man again. I want you guys to see this. I need you guys to see this. Let's go ahead and do it right now.
Hi, my name is Aaron Baker. I'm a high school social studies teacher in Oklahoma. And this is one of 2 God Bless the USA Bibles that was sent to me by State Superintendent Ryan Walters. And after months of claiming that one of these Bibles was going to be in every Oklahoma classroom, 2 finally arrived at my school with my name on it, specifically because I teach AP, U.S. government, and politics. Now, I don't want to talk today about the issue of Bibles in classrooms. If you want to see a catalog of my world religions library in my classroom, you can see a previous video about that. I want to talk about this Bible in particular. When I first received this Bible, the first thing that struck me was that it was very generic, leather-bound, King James version of the Bible, just like I grew up with, probably owned a dozen or more in my lifetime. It's not a study Bible. There's no in-text commentary. There's nothing unique about the version in and of itself. The only thing that is quote-unquote special about this Bible is that in the back, when I was a kid, where the maps used to be, is where we find a letter from the Greenwood, followed by the Declaration of Independence, followed by the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, the Pledge of Allegiance, and then a place for notes. As I was looking through, I came across the Constitution, and since I teach government, I was interested in the presentation. As I mentioned, the Bill of Rights is listed here as well, although the Bill of Rights are part of the Constitution. And then if the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution are mentioned, and then that is directly followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, something became apparent to me. One could say that parts of the Constitution are missing, particularly amendments 11 through 27. But you could also make the argument that this is the wrong Constitution, in fact. The Constitution in this Bible contains what's called the Three-Fifths Compromise, which was summarily removed by the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which abolished slavery in the United States. The 14th Amendment is also missing from this Constitution, and that is where we get the due process of law. This is not an accident. This is an incomplete, at best, Constitution that's in this Bible, and it's a dishonest Constitution, and it's not the Constitution that I teach in my classroom. I believe that this firmly indicates that we are exiting a stage of MAGA revisionist history where the message is that slavery was not that bad, and we are firmly entering into one of the final stages of MAGA revisionist history, and that is that slavery never existed. And that's what appears to happen in this Constitution, in this Bible, because the original articles of the Constitution does not use the word slavery. The 13th Amendment has a direct reference, and if you are trying to rewrite history, leaving those amendments out will help make that point. This is very concerning, and I wanted to raise the alarm on the fact that this kind of blatant revisionist history is being pushed into our schools in Oklahoma, and it needs to stop. Hi, my name...
Now, I don't know if people understand how serious this is. This is very, very serious. They are actually trying to ill-inform the students and completely change what history is all about. Anyway, continuing the program. So that was that pretty much covered what what that particular segment was going to be. Anyhow, let me just tell you that right now there is a contemplated shutdown that is about to take place, right? And what I want to do here is talk a little bit about that before I get into the issue with the farmers. Talk a little bit about this. Bear with me 1 second as I make sure that I get the right video out. Anyhow, let's go ahead and play this one here, and then we'll take it on the other side. Steve Radner breaks down exactly what the shutdown is going to be all about. And Democrats better wake up and let America know why the GOP is shutting down the government. They are holding Americans hostage. In November, or by the end of this year, all the subsidies that people get for insurance under the Affordable Care Act and in other domains, that will be gone because a big, beautiful bill decided to keep it out of there and give a big, big break to wealthy people as people lose their insurance. So as it turns out, Steve Radner explains why exactly it is that, one, people are going to lose their insurance, how it breaks it down from what Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, did do. Two, he points out how subsidies are the main drivers of people losing insurance. And three, how the prices for all people's insurance, whether they were on the Affordable Care Act or not, are going to go up because the loss of all those insured people, including those that were subsidized by the Affordable Care Act, will cause everybody else's insurance to go up. So in effect, the GOP will be closing the government down because they're saying you are not worth having health care, and we're going to make sure everybody else's health care go up. Check this out. We'll take it on the other side.
Steve, your first chart takes us through projections on how many Americans could lose their health insurance from the proposed budget cuts. What did you find? Yeah, look, as you said, Mika, healthcare has become the major issue in this shutdown, and for good reason, as I'm going to show you. You haven't heard Republicans say lately, let's repeal Obamacare, have you? I haven't heard it. You probably haven't heard it because it's not popular to say that. So they've been doing it surreptitiously, piece by piece. They are dismantling Obamacare. And that is what the Democrats are fighting for in this go-round. So let's take a look at the numbers. Obamacare started right about in here and with about 45 million Americans uninsured at the time. We brought it all the way down here to 25 million. In other words, 20 million Americans got insurance, largely, if not entirely, because of Obamacare.
And now a combination of changes is going to bring that back up here, and it's going to take away 70% of the people who got health insurance under Obamacare are going to lose it, both because of what's in the big, beautiful bill and because of what's on the table right now, which I'm going to explain. And you can see it breaks down to a few pieces. These are the changes made in the big, beautiful bill. That's 10 million of this 14. And now what's on the table for this shutdown would be 4.2 million more people losing their health insurance if the Republicans get their way.
Steve, as we move to your second chart, there are these tax credits, enhanced tax credits that boost coverage that are set to expire at the end of the year. What impact will that have?
Yeah, so that's what's on the table. The Democrats have a long wish list, but when you talk to them privately, what it comes down to for the moment, they're not going to get the big, beautiful bill unwound. What it comes down for the moment is another provision set to expire at the end of this year, unrelated to the big, beautiful bill, a bunch of extra tax credits that were passed during the Biden administration under the American Rescue Plan to both provide more aid and to deal with an original kind of little design flaw in Obamacare. So this is the percent of income that people have to pay for health care. This is the income level starting at the bottom, obviously, and going all the way up here. And under the ACA, there was this cliff where if you got above $60,000 a year of income for a single person, the amount you paid suddenly went up like that and then eventually declined. The provision that was put in during the Biden administration provided what are called enhanced subsidies and took your costs down to here. And so if this expires at the end of the year, as it is currently scheduled to do, for all these folks, the percent of their income that they're going to pay is going to go back to this pink line. And that's what's really at stake at the moment. And you can see that those enhanced tax credits were very, very popular. The number of people taking it went from 10 million all the way up here to 20 million as they came into effect. Most of the people who get it are people down here, which is 250% of the poverty line is about $40,000 a year. So these are people for whom buying insurance would be very, very costly. And so we were providing a wonderful benefit to them that is going to go away in the course of this year if there is not some agreement.
So then you're going to have fewer people on the insurance rolls. And Steve, what does that do to premiums ultimately? I'm hearing the concept of even premiums tripling.
Yeah, so fewer people on health insurance means that health insurance companies raise prices for everyone who's buying through these marketplaces that were created under the ACA or Obamacare, because fewer people, it just makes it more expensive for them. And so you had 312 insurers already file for their rates for next year. And they're assuming that these things expire. That's what they have to. That's the current law. And when you look at these are all the different ones, but the point of it is 18% proposed rate change, not just for the people that I was talking about before, but for everybody who buys their insurance through the Obamacare marketplace. And then if you want to take a look at what this means for a representative family, take a 55-year-old couple making $85,000 a year. Their insurance bill at the moment is $7,225, thanks to the subsidies that we talked about. The subsidies go away. Their bill goes to $20,792. But then you have what I talked about a minute ago, that premiums just go up in general because fewer people are on insurance. So their premiums actually go to $24,535. You tell me how a couple making $85,000 can afford to pay $24,000 for their insurance. Hence, you see all those people dropping off of the insurance rolls.
So that's the point. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is Republicans decided that they are going to lie to their constituents, tell them that what the Democrats want to do is to increase the monies and giveaways that they're giving to illegal immigrants. They want to lie to their constituents and tell them somehow it is the Democrats that are shutting down the government. Point blank. Let this be known. The government will shut down on Tuesday, or likely shut down on Tuesday. And the reason it's going to be shut down is because the GOP refuses to give health care to the people who are on the exchange. and they refuse to do what's necessary to prevent people's health insurance from skyrocketing. So it's clear this is a Republican shutdown, and they're shutting it down because they're holding you hostage. They're holding you hostage by saying, everything within the continuation bill is not for you. It's for the wealthy. As far as you're concerned, fend for yourself. If you can't afford insurance, die. And that's exactly what they mean. Radnan, I hadn't seen that about the 2/3 of immigrants. I want some verification on this story, but it comes from them. Oh, well, if it's Amy Goodman, it's, yeah, she's very accurate. It says that 2/3 of immigrants held at Alligator Alcatraz in July have disappeared. The Miami Herald reports about 2/3 of the 1,800 immigrants who were held there in July have gone missing from ICE's online database, with their families unable to locate them. That is so evil. Earlier this month, a federal appeals court ruled the jail could continue to operate despite reports of abuse. Thomas Kennedy, policy analyst of the Florida Immigrant Coalition, says what we're seeing as Alligator Alcatraz is basically a new model of immigration detention, where a state-run facility is operating as an extrajudicial black site completely outside of the previous model of immigration detention in the country, and it's making what was already a terrible system somehow even worse. This is how a Holocaust starts. This is shameful. You know, I didn't watch Democracy this morning, Democracy Now! This morning. That is shameful. Wow. That is shameful. I don't think they kill them. I think what they're doing is moving them around because they need to keep those numbers up. Because remember, every person that's there, the government pays these private companies a lot of money. So they're not worth anything dead. They're only worth money alive. It is like, you know, oh, wow. That is sad. Anyway, we have another subject to cover here, and this one has to do with tariffs and a statement that Donald Trump made in the White House. And I want to make sure to get to the right one, given the naming conventions that I gave. And this one involves the farmers. This is the one. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll talk a little about it afterwards. But this is important. Please get it in detail. Today, Donald Trump was entertaining the Turkish President Erdogan. And interestingly, as you know, the government is likely to shut down on Tuesday. So, of course, reporters are going to ask him about Tuesday. And what the Democrats really want to do is they want to reinstitute the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act and all the subsidies that will aid folks in paying for their insurance, their health insurance going forward. Because if what the big, beautiful bill forgot is that the subsidies were expiring and needed to be reinstalled in whatever new bills came out. And of course they didn't, because they don't care about the working class. They don't care about the common man. They just talk about liking the common man and the working class. They do nothing for them. So anyway, many of these people are going to see their insurance bills explode. Some are going to be even more than doubled. So what Democrats are trying to do is to prevent this from occurring. And they want to go ahead and make sure that as they've signed the bill to keep the government open, as for the Republicans to keep the government open, what they want to do is to make sure that during this period, people will have their subsidies so they don't lose their health care. Of course, Donald Trump doesn't care about that. So he lies to the reporter who asked about the shutdown and says, Democrats want to give health care and all these things to all these illegals, and they want to open the borders. And he's telling people that the reason the government is going to shut down is that the Democrats want to give free health care to the foreigners and to the illegals, as he calls them, etc. It's a lie. The Democrats want to help the entire country to have healthcare. Whether you are in Appalachia, urban areas, rural areas, wherever, they want to ensure that you get healthcare. Republicans are saying no. So when the government shuts down on Tuesday, it will be because Republicans said no support for your healthcare. But I want you to listen to this because he also brought in tariffs. And the interesting thing about tariffs that he brought in is that he said, we're starting to see a lot of money we didn't know we had. And I told them, check. Where is it coming from? Tariffs? Yes, it's coming from tariffs, that extra money that they're seeing. But there's another story behind that. I want to play this, what happened in the White House, and then I'll tell you the other part of the story.
Because of tariffs, we're doing unbelievable. We're making more money than we ever have made. And by the way, we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, just to get off the subject for a second. We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made. We're going to give it to our farmers who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money. We're finding the other day, it was very interesting. They found $31 billion. They said, sir, we found 31. I said, you mean positively, right? They said, yeah, 31 million more than we knew. And they said, we don't know where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. They came back the following morning. They said, you're right, sir, it came from the tariffs. We've never seen anything like this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some money from all of the tariff money that we've taken, and we're going to distribute it to our farmers until the tariffs kick into their benefit, which ultimately the farmers are going to be making a fortune.
Now, after lying about Democrats wanting to give money away and holding up the government because they want to give money to illegals and all that sort of stuff, he goes in and says, we're collecting so much money in the tariffs. What we're going to do is take some of that tariff money and give it as welfare to farmers. Okay, because farmers are crying. Farmers are not selling any soybeans. They're not selling a whole lot of products. They're crying. They're hurting. 75% of these farms are going to go under. The big agribusinesses are going to buy them up, which is a real thing that Donald Trump wants to do. I mean, there's a side story here where his past agriculture department secretary said the days of the small farmer is over. They're going to have to consolidate, meaning big agribusiness is going to come and buy up all the land. He said that. Donald Trump's former agricultural secretary said that. But anyhow, he said he's going to give some of that tariff money to the farmers as welfare for them to, to get by before it gets really good, because eventually the tariffs are really going to work. Eventually it's going to work and the farmers are going to have a market to sell in. That's false. New markets have developed. China has stopped buying soybeans from America and they are now buying the soybeans at better prices. No real import fee or tariff prices from Brazil. Do you think Brazil is going to ever give up that market voluntarily by either increasing tariffs or not ensuring that whatever China pays is less than what America will pay? Of course. American soybean farmers have gone kaput because of Trump's tariffs, and it's not coming back anytime soon unless we get a population boom that creates a shortage of soybeans. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So farmers, when they voted for Donald Trump, many of them voted for their demise, and that is not going to turn around. They may get welfare a little bit from the tariffs that we're all paying right now. And by the way, that tariff, that money that he says he's going to give to the farmers, he's taking that money from urban areas because they buy Walmart stuff, they buy Target stuff, they buy all the things that tariffs pay for. They're taking that money from cities, they're taking that money from everywhere else and transferring the taxes, the tariffs that these people paid. Because remember, the foreign companies or foreign countries are not paying these tariffs. all Americans are the ones paying for this tariff. So he's taking money out of the economy by increasing prices that Americans pay. And then he's going to take that extra money and give it to farmers who are unable to grow anything. So in effect, they'll be getting welfare. In other words, they'll getting paid for not being able to sell a damn thing. A transfer of money, the picking of winners and losers, things that Republicans used to stand against. So folks, please understand this. Please inform your farmers about this. Please inform your urban people about this. Please inform your Appalachian people about this. Please inform everybody that what we have here is a convoluted system that Donald Trump has put together to slow down the economy, take money out of the economy, reward the wealthy folks who are going to buy up all that farmland on the cheap, make sure that workers get less in wages because, again, when the economy slumps, guess what happens? As people lose their jobs, people are willing to work for less. This is a systemic, calculated depression that this guy is trying to apply to the economy. And you know who wins in depression? The corporate sector, as usual, will win in a depression as they normalize prices again. They in an inflationary periods, they collect a lot of money, then they deflate and buy everything up on the cheap. Folks, it's a scam on you. We warned you when what Project 2025 was going to do, what Donald Trump was going to do. And everything is working to plan. Everything is working as we said it would. Everything will continue to work as we said it would until not only this president is removed from office, but all his sycophants that have allowed him to do this are gone. And that is what we have to be cognizant of. We are going to be in some pain for some time. Welcome aboard LBW, La Profesora. She said, I'm here late, but I'm here. You're right, girl. You're here. Thank you for being here. We got to, what is the word that I want to say? We have got to be cognizant of what's going on, but it's deeper than that. We have to go out there and sell the truth, because right now they're doing a good job of selling it. Right, there are now pundits telling Democrats, forget about a shutdown, let them win this battle. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sitting down to, I'm really trying to think about whether we should shut down. It's not the Democratic Party that's going to shut down the government. It's the Republicans, right? But here's the thing. I want to make this clear. Democrats want to not give these guys cloture in the Senate until they pass subsidies for health care this year. I want you to think about this. Now, if the Democrats just say, okay, we'll just allow cloture and then vote against the bill, what's going to happen is everybody's insurance are going to go sky high. And Americans will be able to see that it's the Republicans that are raising their health insurance rates. Now, let's say we close the government down. Not we, the Republicans close the government down because they don't want to give you the health insurance. And let's say later on to open it back up, they compromise and give some. And people go on the exchange and they realize, it's not so bad, we can afford the health insurance. Does that lose the edge for the Democrats? And in a low information system, then these people start to believe that, well, the Republicans are, after all, doing the right thing, and the Democrats then caved, etc. So, it's a difficult situation that Democrats are in, because when you are a people who care, when you care about people, you are willing to do the things to make sure people suffer as little as possible. Republicans don't care. as they are doing with their farmers right now, as the farmers are struggling. They don't care. We knew as soon as those tariffs came on that China would be gone. Look, the fallacy that the United States is the breadbasket of the world, right? It's just that, a fallacy. Let's give an example here. Remember what happened when NAFTA was passed? Remember that. You know what it did? It biased itself for American farmers and farmers from around the world. Their crop, they could produce a lot, but we cornered the market. Look, let me tell you, Central America, South America, in the Brazil area, etc. Those areas are much more favorable for growing year-round. We are the bread basket of the world because we simply have power. But we are not the best place to grow all these products. You know, I mean, Central America, Central Africa, Central Asia. These are the places that, because they are on between what is it called? The tropical Cancer and Capricorn. What is it called? That latitude between those areas. It's something of Capricorn, and something of Cancer. There's this region around the world where I tell you Ukraine is also a part of the breadbasket because in certain parts. But again, the best parts are within those two latitudes, right above the equator and right below the equator. And the reason why is you grow year round. You grow year round. And sadly, what we've done is made sure that those areas around the equator are not very stable. Yeah, they're stable enough to grow pineapples and bananas, but they're not stable. Bruce says they will have to grow other stuff when the temperature changes. Yeah. Understood. So anyway, I think it's important for us to understand what's going on. So Mike Cisak, if you think that Brazil is not going to go ahead and make sure that it can increase its soybean production, you're dreaming. They have, compared to the United States, they can grow soybeans, and not only can they grow soybeans, but they can grow soybeans pretty damn year-round. All right, let's see what else we got. I got one more thing, and this has to do with Donald Trump sending subliminal messages to the militia. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side. Like a mob boss, Donald Trump did something in the White House today as he was asked a question about the sniper in Dallas. I want you guys to listen to this piece right here, and then we'll discuss it in a little bit more detail after. Take a listen to this.
There was another shooting at an ICE facility in Texas yesterday. Terrible. Detainees were killed. The FBI director posted on social media bullets that were engraved with the message anti-ICE. Right. He just posted another thing on social media saying they recovered a handwritten note from the subject that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof?" Who do you hold responsible for the uptick in left-wing violence in the country?
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem. They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it. And they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats, are causing this problem, and it gets worse. It gets worse, and it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left.
First of all, when you make statements based on a false premise that is knowingly false, you don't only create chaos, you don't only create false actions, but you create a big problem that can cost people lives. Notice what Donald Trump said. He pointed out that the rhetoric from the left is really causing all these violent problems in America right now. The violence is coming from the left. That is provably wrong, categorically wrong. Every single report that you find today, you find that most of the violence in this country are done by right-wing extremists, Christian nationalists, white nationalists. That's where the violence in this country is coming from. But notice how he changed the concept. He's actually trying to say that it's left-wing rhetoric that is causing these changes, these violent acts by these people. That's what he's trying to get you to infer. And then came the threat. He wanted to say that, after all, the left is really just weak, but the right-wing folks are mean. And it's interesting because one of our callers yesterday sort of implied that somehow, well, the tough guys are the guys on the right. What he meant, though, is that the right is where you find people that have no conscience, that are just no humanity, etc. And I'm not talking about all people consider themselves conservatives or anything like that. I'm talking about those folks that you see with the AR-15s and all of that are ready to go shoot stuff up. They have no conscience, no, etc. But what he did is he gave them carte blanche. You know, if the left wing keeps talking, and protesting and so forth, it'll leave no other choice for those on the right, because it'll activate them. What the hell is he talking about? The right has been activated from the time he activated them, from the time he gave them the opportunity, from the time he gave them the permission to let their most inner demons come out, to let their most inner racist, their most inner misogynist, their most negative forms come out. He made it okay. He made it okay that you can beat up on somebody and I will go ahead and pay the bail to take you out of jail. He made that okay. And again, January 6th, the biggest one of them all, by pardoning violent criminals, he let out those same people that he's threatening the left wing with. I noticed this sort of flew over the mainstream media as they spoke about, oh, Donald Trump said that violence is coming from the left. Donald Trump said a lot more than that. In that piece there, he gave a signal to those on the right that if you act, well, you would be kind of justified. But you know what? What he should know by now is they are acting, they have been acting, and we expect them to continue acting and doing all the things that they shouldn't be doing. Folks, this is serious. Be careful out there, but you can't stop. You can't stop your protesting. You can't stop your truthful rhetoric, because that is what they want to do. They want to intimidate you into acquiescing to whatever they do. They want you to acquiesce to their patriarchy. They want you to acquiesce to their authoritarianism. This is America. We will never, ever acquiesce to it. And look, folks, let's be very clear here. Let's be very clear, because I see two people claiming we're lying about the where the violence is coming from. Look, there were the Cato Institute, conservative, pointed that out. We don't have to ask the question as far as where the violence come from. The people that are armed with the AR-15s and want to shoot things up and create militia, all of that is on the right. Whether you choose to accept it or not is your problem. But that is a statement of fact. Most of the violence come from the right. And even when people on the right have seen the truth and sort of convert themselves into, well, I'm not following the right anymore because we realize that we've been had, what they know are guns. What they know is violence. And that is exactly how they respond. Come on in, Patrick.
I want to touch on a few things we talked about. And first off, I want to apologize because I'm going to come across it as being insensitive. But when the teacher talked about the Bible, I couldn't help but laugh. And not because of what his concerns were, but the fact that they picked the King James Bible.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Well, King James is believed to have been by most historians bisexual, and that was one of many reasons why he decided to rewrite that Bible to make himself more comfortable with his
sexuality
preferences. And yeah, and so they picked somebody that rewrote the Bible so that they could feel better about being bisexual. I don't think that they understand what they're doing there. But moving on to the last topic, where we're discussing where the violence is coming from, and I want you to save the statistic for Brian next time he calls in the morning. But the Kirk assassination motivated me to do some research, and according to the CDC, and I picked this date for a reason, from 2017 to 2 weeks ago, mass shootings reported were 4,173. 4 of those were from the trans community. And if they were statistically even with everybody else, if you adjust that for
population,
capita, it should have been more like 16. So the community that he's trying to demonize actually seems to be more meek and more timid than anybody else. And another thing that is very interesting, and the reason why I picked 2017 is that's when Trump came into office.
Right.
Since 2017, there's been a 3- to 4-fold increase in trans violence and murders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump has brought evil. There's no doubt. Continue, brother.
Well, and if we have a community that probably feels more comfortable on the left because they're a little more welcomed to the left, how come that community is exposed to more violence, but statistically less violent than everybody else around them?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's coming from the left.
Look, it is sad that, I mean, it is sad that you can have all the facts, but you know, I mean, there were a lot of people that there's people that whenever I put out certain numbers, they said they stopped listening immediately as you point out facts, which is true. Just look in our chat right now and you see what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Well, because we went past 10 fingers.
That wasn't nice of you.
But no, I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody that was counting on their fingers. One other thing that I thought was very funny is that he's a week or two ago, Trump said that smart people don't like him, but then now he's saying that all the people that don't like him now are stupid. I'm confused.
Yeah, it's amazing. Look, let me tell you, don't try to find rationality in Donald Trump. Donald Trump, Donald Trump the people that are sycophants, and not all Republicans, not all right-wingers, etc., but the people that are sycophants share a lot in common with the mental gymnastic that Donald Trump does, that really make no rational sense, make no mathematical sense, make no sense whatsoever. And they behave that way. So it's expected. But I got to get ready to close out. Patrick, you have anything last thing to say?
No, sir. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
All right. Thank you, my brother. All right. I got to close down the program, guys. I want to first thank all of you for listening. We couldn't and cannot do this without you. You all make this program. So at the end of the program, I want to ask you to please consider, those of you that are listening and have the wherewithal, please consider becoming paid subscribers. And what we do, our paid subscribers receive access to all 5 of my books, and every book, subsequent book that I write, which I'm writing a couple more as we speak, all of it will be accessible to those who are paid subscribers. Please consider doing that. And how do you do that? The best way to do that is to go to politicsdoneright.com, politicsdoneright.com / what is the word? politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Let me go ahead and put that into the chat. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. There it is. Anyway, folks, I got to get out of here. I'm on a panel in a radio station in Detroit in the next 5 minutes. That's a call that you just heard there. So I got to get out of here. Please consider becoming a paid subscriber today. I love you all. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Can email me directly at info@politicsdoneright.com. Thank you so kindly. Love you all. Got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure